to your weekly community service show, Your Business Matters, with Pallavi Ahluwalia of Ahluwalia Law Offices. Tune into their show between 10:30 a.m. and 11 a.m. every Wednesday on 104.9 FM and ask her all your legal questions. Ms. Ahluwalia owns and operates Ahluwalia Law Offices PC. She received her law degree in 1996 from Southern Methodist University in Dallas, Texas, and also has a graduate degree in English Literature and Master of Philosophy in English Literature from the University of Punjab, Chandigarh in India. Ms. Ahluwalia is also a certified mediator and has served as an appointed mediator for Collin County Courts. In addition to regularly volunteering at legal aid clinics hosted by the Legal Aid of Northwest Texas, Ms. Ahluwalia serves as a legal advisor to Chetna, a non-profit organization working on issues related to domestic violence. She also spearheaded and participated in the inaugural annual legal aid clinic that was held to benefit the underprivileged South Asian community. Ms. Ahluwalia also served on the North American South Asian Bar Association's Executive Committee and is the founding president of the South Asian Bar Association of Dallas. Her speaking engagements have included being the speaker at the National South Asian Bar Association's annual conference, speaking at the conference held by the Texas chapter of the American Immigration Lawyers Association, and a presenter to the Indo-American Chamber of Commerce activities. She has been featured in Texas Lawyer magazine for an article on law firm ethics. Ms. Ahluwalia speaks English, Hindi, Urdu, and Spanish. Her office handles cases involving immigration and naturalization law, family law, business law, contract law, and civil litigation. She can be contacted directly at 972-361-0606 or pallavi@yourdesilawyer.com. You are listening to Your Business.
Alright, 972-361-0606 is the number to call if you want to get in touch with Pallavi for a private consultation. That would be the number. You can call us right now, right here at 972-235-5555. This is Your Business Matters with Pallavi Ahluwalia from Ahluwalia Law Offices. And if you have any questions related to employment and family-based immigration matters, family law, corporate law, or civil matters, you can call us right now at 972-235-5555. With that, do want to welcome Pallavi Ahluwalia on the airwaves of Fun Asia Radio 104.9 FM. Good morning to you, Pallavi. How are you?
I'm very well, Meetu. Thank you for hosting me this Wednesday morning with Your Business Matters. We're here every Wednesday and hope to interact with the community and to be able to answer any questions that they have. By default, I think we have a lot of immigration questions and we'll welcome them and would be happy to take the callers on the air and go over their questions.
Great. Thank you so much, Pallavi, for finding time in your busy schedule and doing this for the community. So I'm going to go straight ahead and start taking calls. 972-235-5555, number in the studio. All right, you are live on the air, and your question to Pallavi?
Hello, ma'am. Good morning. Thank you for taking my call. I have a question about H-1B and investment. Is it illegal to buy a rental property while on H-1B status, ma'am?
Yeah, so you can buy a rental property as long as it's just purely an investment where you're not actively involved in running it as a business. It should not be a problem. The moment you start working in it, as in you're involved in managing it, is where you'll have an issue, because then that would be regarded as work.
Okay, ma'am. So, does it mean that I must have a property management company managing it?
Correct.
Okay,
so as long as you're not involved and it's purely an investment and a business, you can take care of that.
Okay, so without having the property management, like if it is just one property,
yeah, so
it would still be illegal, right?
Yes. So it's not authorized. Let's not call it illegal. Okay. It's not authorized. Yeah.
Authorized. Okay, perfect, ma'am. So, yeah, having a property management company and I'm not doing anything on that should be okay as an investment.
Correct. And do it not under your name, but maybe another entity that you are a shareholder of.
Oh, I can't have it on my name, ma'am.
Yeah, so basically, and that would be just more on the corporate side. So why, when you own something, why do it under a personal name? Why not under the name of a company? Okay, because that would protect you from liability. Right, and that would be just on the civil side. But also when that makes you also a shareholder of that entity that's doing investments, as opposed to you being directly involved. So it helps you both in the immigration front as well as on the business corporate front.
Okay, perfect. Yeah, that makes sense. But like as far as immigration is concerned, like even if I have it on my name, but having it gone through the property management company, it should not affect me, right?
Well, no, I would still advise you to, so if it was your name, then you should have a DBA if you're not wanting to open a company. But I would just put one more layer in between you and what you're doing. So it should not be you personally involved.
Okay, ma'am. Great. Yeah. Thank you so much. I really appreciate that.
Okay.
All right.
All the best.
Thank you for your call. 972-235-5555 number in the studio. This is Your Business Matters with Pallavi Ahluwalia. Going to our next caller. Panisha Radio, you're live on the air. Go ahead and ask your question, please.
Yeah, hi there. My question was, I was planning to call my dad on visitor's visa, and once he is here, can we apply for his green card, say next 3 months? He's here.
So the only thing that the law does not allow is having this preconceived intent. Say, for example, dad were to just come here on a visitor visa, and then after 2 or 3 months after his stay, he decides to stay back, and you apply for his adjustment of status and his I-130. That is allowed to you. But if you plan for it, then that is not allowed, because the intent, and I keep saying this, I think quite often on the air also, that the intent that you take on anything with is very, very important, and he cannot violate the intent of his entry. So if he's entered the country on a visitor visa, then that intent cannot change towards being a green card holder.
Yeah, means if you're thinking about it, maybe he's here and if he likes it, means my question was from that perspective.
Correct. And that perspective is just fine.
Okay, and it has to be exactly 90 days, or it can be 2 months, even after 2 months if he's
after 2 months is fine. Between 60 to 90 days would be the time that the government can understand that may have taken to go past the intent issue.
Okay, and one more thing, once we apply, and if he, for some reason, if it doesn't come in 6 months, but his status would have already changed, so he can still stay back to make sure that he gets his green card.
Yeah, he has to stay back because he cannot leave on his visitor visa. Once he has an adjustment pending, the only way he'll be able to leave the country would be if he has travel permission, which would be the advance parole.
Okay. So in that case, it doesn't matter even if 6 months are done, but if the visa is, green card is not there, he'll be okay, right, with his status?
Correct. Yes, he'll be
okay. Okay. Thank you so much.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Thank you for your call. Going to our next caller, Phanisha Radio. You're live on the air, and you can please go ahead and ask your question. I guess I lost a couple of calls there, but do feel free to call us back, 972-235-5555. That's the number in the studio, and this is Your Business Matters with Pallavi Ahluwalia from Ahluwalia Law Offices. For private consultation, do call their front desk manager at 972-361-0606. ahluwalialaw.com is the website to go and find out more about them. Going to our next caller, Phanisha Radio. You're live on the air. Go ahead and ask your question, please. Phanisha Radio, you're live on the air. Go ahead and ask your question, please. I think for some reason I cannot hear anything. It's going blank there. So please give us a call back, and I'm going to take the next caller on the air. Phanisha Radio, you're live on the air. Go ahead and ask your question, please.
Hey, thanks for taking the call. I had a question for Pallavi. I have a 3-year bachelor's degree from India, and I had filed my green card in EB2, but it was denied a few years ago, saying that 3-year degree cannot be equated to a 4-year bachelor's degree. So I had to refile an EB2. But recently I heard an advertisement from your firm which says that if you have more than 10 years experience and a 3-year degree, it can be.
Yes, so that would be under a different category, not the advanced degree, which is the master's or the 4-year bachelor's plus 5 years of experience, but under the EB2 exceptional ability. Okay, so besides just having a degree, which could be a 2-year degree, an associate degree, a diploma, anything, and having the 10 years of experience, there are 3 more requirements, and those take you to the point of being exceptional. They would go through if you've received awards at work, if you've been a member of associations, of an association that requires outstanding contribution by its members. So there's a requirement of you fulfilling a few more things in addition to any bachelor's degree plus the 10 years of experience. And then, yes, you can qualify for the EB2 exceptional ability. That's what that announcement is about.
Is that something new? I'm sorry. Is that something new?
No, it has been around for since the EB2 categories were set up. They've been around. It's a less often used category, and that's the reason that announcements out there, so that people understand that there are other ways to get into EB2, which is not just the straight master's or the bachelor's plus 5 years way.
And this also has to be an employer sponsored, or you can do it yourself?
It is an employer. Yes, it does require a perm. It does require you to go through a perm, but the ad has to go on a little differently. It may require you to have some certifications in addition to what you have. So licenses or certifications are also requirements. So if you were to just even pull up the EB2 exceptional ability, you'll be able to see if you can qualify for that, or otherwise you can sit down with an attorney and just go over to see how you qualify.
All right. Thank you so much.
All the best.
All right. Thank you for your call. Moving to our next caller, Fun Asia Radio. You're live on the air. Go ahead and ask your question, please.
Yes, hello. This is Manju. I want to I applied for my sister in 2004, and I wanted to know how long it's going to be before, I'm going to get any kind of notification for her final, for green card.
Yeah, surely. So right now the final action dates for India are January 1 of 2001. Okay, which means those are the people right now by the June visa bulletin that are now getting their green cards. In terms of starting out the paperwork with the National Visa Center, you should be hearing from the National Visa Center, and that is May 1st of 2004. So, and you said you're June, right?
No, I think it was September.
What was it?
September.
Over 2004. Okay. So once this date gets current, and this is so there are two tables now on a visa bulletin, and one of them is the final action date for the family-sponsored preference categories, and those are the people that are now getting their green cards. And then there is another table, and that is dates for filing family-sponsored visa applications. And this one involves, this particular one would involve NVC to start out the process if the people are here to file their adjustment of status. And right now that date on the visa bulletin shows as May 1st of 2004.
So what category does this fall in? How do I know?
It would be the family-based 4th category, and that's the F4 category. Siblings fall under the family-based 4th category.
Okay, and that is the 2001?
Yes.
So it's 2004.
Yeah, so you still have 3 years before she actually gets her green card, but the paperwork for the second step should start shortly within a year.
Okay, within a year. Okay, I don't know, because I called earlier during the year, and at the time they were saying that it's current, 2004 is current, and I should be hearing something around, August to September.
Yes. So, and this is something that we explain about the visa bulletin quite often, and that is just one thing to understand. The visa bulletin keeps moving forward and backward. So it will have a progress, and it may also just retrogress, as in it goes back. And the reason for that is that it's been oversubscribed. So if they have, the numbers are released by how many people have applied. So if in a particular month or a date there are too many applications, then the visa bulletin will retrogress, which means it'll go back.
Okay. Okay, so I should be hearing something in next 3-4 months.
We don't know that. It could be a year also.
Okay, all right. Thank you very much.
All the best, Manju.
Thank you for your call. 972-235-5555, number in the studio. For those who are tuning in just now, this is Your Business Matters with Pallavi Ahluwalia from Ahluwalia Law Offices. Do make sure you visit the website. A lot of information, a lot of useful information posted there about USCIS, news and visa bulletin, and a lot of important government links. Even the radio show that you are part of, you can listen to that in their archives as well. All right, 972-361-0606 is the number for private consultation. You do need to get in touch with the front desk manager. Right now, if you want to ask a question, 972-235-5555 is the number to call. Going to our next caller, Phanisha Radio. You are live on the air. Go ahead and ask your question, please.
Hi, thanks for taking my call. Question. For a US passport holder, is nationality certificate necessary? Because my daughter is a US passport holder, she's not born here, but is nationality certificate needed or not?
Now, if she is a U.S. passport holder and she has a birth certificate, she will not be qualified for a naturalization certificate. Naturalization certificate is for someone who was first a green card holder and then they applied for a naturalization, and that's how they became a U.S. citizen. A birth certificate qualifies her to be a U.S. citizen, so the naturalization would not just be something she needs.
Or she doesn't have a U.S. birth certificate.
I thought you said that she was born here?
No, she's born in India.
Oh, she's born in India, but so she was naturalized along with you?
Yes. Okay,
so if she has a passport, that is an indication of, so I didn't understand that and I apologize, but if it is that she has a passport and that is a U.S. passport, she should be okay with that. You can ask for a certificate of citizenship for her, and that would be an application that you can have for that naturalization certificate if you want to have proof of that. It is not a requirement, but it could be something that she holds on to.
Okay, is there any benefit having that now? Along her?
Benefit, I mean, looking forward many years down the road, if she were to want to sponsor someone, a copy of the naturalization sometimes is requested, but even a U.S. passport should be sufficient proof. This would only go towards additional proof at any time to authenticate that she's a U.S. citizen. The passport should serve as that proof, though.
Okay, thank you, ma'am. And one more thing, she's 16, so she'll be turning 18 later. So, anything we need to do for?
No, I mean, like you said, that she is a U.S. citizen. There's nothing that needs to be done. That would be different.
Okay, thank you, ma'am. Thank you very much.
Okay, all the best.
Thank you so much for your call. 972-235-5555, number in the studio. Going to our next caller, Phanisha Radio. You're live on the air. Go ahead and ask your question.
Hello?
Yes, go ahead and ask your question,
I
please.
want to apply for the EAD for my wife, H-4 EAD. What are the documents required?
So the proof of her H-4 status, the proof of your H-1B status, the proof that you are currently maintaining status, and so is she. So for her,
How do we prove that? What's the way to show for that?
So
my
to
H-1B
show
status.
proof of status would be your current pay stubs for the last 3 months that show that you're employed, your approval notice, I-983s for both of you, passport size pictures for her, an I-130 approval notice, something that's still open and not withdrawn by a previous employer. That would be the basic qualifications for the H-4. Of course, she also needs to show that she's married to you, so marriage certificate would be needed.
Okay. I need address proof, like where we are staying and everything. So,
No, that's not part of the requirement. That address you would be inputting into the 765 form anyway.
Okay, thank you. Thank you very much.
All the best.
All right. Thank you so much for your call. Moving on. You're live on the air. Please ask your question to Pallavi.
Hi, Pallavi. I have a question. I'm on H-1B and I got my visa stamped in 2012, and this is my 4th year on H-1Bs. So my question is, if I go to India for like 1 year, so if I come back, then I will get another 6 years, or like I will only get like 2 or 3 years which is left.
Yes, if you go for a stamp to India, unless you are abroad for 1 whole year and reset your time, you're not entitled to 6 years. You're entitled only to remaining time. Your stepping away to India would not take away the total amount of status that you're allowed. You're allowed a total of 6 years, with the exception that if you have an I-140 approved, then you will get 3 more years, and that would be interminable till you get your green card.
Okay, so if I only talk about H1, no green cards, if I come back to US after like 1.5 years, and right now still like my visa is 2018, if I come back after 1.5 years, so I will again get whole 6 years, or I will only get remaining 2.5 years?
Yeah, so if you were to go through the new quota and re-enter the country, then you would get 6 years.
Okay, on this quota I will not get 6 years.
Right, but if you're trying to use the old quota, then you're still part of that last 6 years, and you're entitled only to the 6 years in all. So the time that you spend abroad, of course, will be discounted. So, say, for example, you step out now, and you have 2 years remaining. So whenever you come back in, you will still have 2 years remaining if you've lived abroad, because you can recapture that time.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, all the best.
All right, thank you for your call. Going to our next caller, Fun Asia Radio. You're live on the air. Go ahead and ask your question, please.
Yes, ma'am. I have a question for Pallavi.
Go ahead, please.
I want to apply for my wife, and I wanted to know what kind of documents do we need to file a petition, I-130.
Okay, are you a U.S. citizen or green card holder?
Yes, ma'am. I'm a U.S. citizen.
U.S. citizen. So, and your wife is abroad or here in the country?
She's abroad.
Okay, so you will go through a 2-step green card process for her. The first step would be for you to file an I-130 here, for which you need proof of marriage. You'll need some forms filled, which include the I-130 as well as the G325A forms. You will also require some pictures of the two of you. You'll require proof of your citizenship, whether it's a passport or your naturalization certificate. That would comprise of your entire I-130 packet. Now, at the time, you'll have the second step, which will happen in about 5 or 6 months after you have submitted your application. You should obtain an approval in about approximately 5 to 6 months. After that, NBC, you will pay the fee bills, and after you pay the fee bills, you will have to go through their forms, which are the DS-260 forms, and the requirements at that time are the affidavit of support, the tax returns, her birth certificate, which is a very, very important document, your birth certificate, those are things that are required, and the marriage certificate, again, will have to be sent out, and that has to be an original, that has to be sent out. So there are a few requirements at this time. After all of this is done, she will be set up for a medical exam as well as an interview abroad, and after she completes it, she will get a stamp on her passport.
Okay, so one more question. Does she need to sign the form 325A, something like that?
Correct, she does.
So I have to send it to her to sign that form?
After you fill it out, yes, you have to.
Thank you.
You need her passport size pictures too.
Oh, okay. Thank you.
All the best.
All right, thank you so much for your calls, and we are almost towards the end of the segment. And is there any update that you want to share with our listeners here, Pallavi?
Yes, so the most important question of this past week in our office, from last week as well as all of this week so far, has been the STEM OPT and how it's impacting a lot of students. And the point that I want to bring out to everyone, the rule that has come out clearly does not allow a third-party arrangement where there is a consulting company in place and the student is working at an end client site. This is spoiling it for a lot of people, especially students as well as companies that have hired or given work to people under the new STEM OPT rules that came into play from May 10th. So I just want people to be aware, you are signing the training form, which is the I-983, which it's a new form that came out again just before May 10th, and you're signing in under the penalty of perjury. So make sure that you're understanding the requirements of that form before you sign it, either as a student or an employer. So I know we have a lot of our client companies seeking that counsel from us, and we're telling them not to file unless the person will be at their site and they will have someone supervising that individual, the student, in real-time basis and not virtually.
Perfect. Thank you so much for sharing that, Pallavi. Always appreciate your presence on the radio, on our airwaves. And yes, thank you once again and look forward to hearing from you next week.
Thank you so much, Meeta, for hosting me well as always, and I look forward to coming back next time.
Have a good one. Bye.
Bye-bye.